Up till now, we have focused on food from a perspective of physical change. But in this page, I'll be talking about food and eating from a psychological perspective. So you may go out for runs, do your strength training and exercise at home, but you'll still lose the fitness battle if you don't control what you eat, how much you eat, and you don't put much thought into what's going inside your body. Remember, fitness is 70% dependent on nutrition and 30% dependent on exercise. Hands down, nutrition trumps exercise anytime. Also, keep in mind the fact that food is not addictive, but eating definitely is. Overweight and obese people are addicted to eating, which is very much similar to gambling on a mental level. Eating is a psychological phenomenon. It is a mind game more than anything else. In this page, I'll be talking about the 3 key aspects on psychology of eating. It is important that you try and remember them. The first point, and a very important point, we have a very weak food memory. As humans, we are not good at keeping note of what we had consumed in the previous meal. For example, during lunch, you may eat burgers and pizzas, but during dinner, you wouldn't be able to recall the exact quantity you ate, and sometimes you may not be able to recall even the food you ate during lunch before biting into more food during dinner. The key here is to make a slight effort to take note of what and how much quantity of food you had consumed in the previous meal. Your mind will do the rest of the work in stopping you from going overboard once you sit for your next meal. You will definitely make healthier choices. The second point is size. Be it the size of the plate you take, the size of the food you put into that plate, or the size of the table on which you sit and eat. The sizes of all these things will play a major role in deciding how much quantity of food you eventually eat. As per research, the smaller the size of the plate, the lesser you eat. The larger the size of the table, the lesser you eat. At a psychological level, a smaller plate or a larger table gives you the perception that you're having good amount of food. Basically, your mind tricks you into thinking that ways. So next time during lunch or during dinner, try taking a smaller plate and try sitting on a larger table and notice the difference in the amount of food you eventually eat. Coming to the third point, company and surroundings. Research suggests that hanging out with an overweight friend or an obese friend will prompt you to eat more and eat unhealthy. Talking about buffets, so if you stand in a buffet line and you see the person just ahead of you taking more food, you will be prompted to do the same. Your mind works that ways. So next time when you go out for a buffet, try going to the buffet counter all alone and focus more on eating complex carbs and healthier food items to fill yourself up. The key here is to focus on what you are eating, what's going on your plate, and eventually what's going inside your body. The more the focus on food, the more mindful eating becomes, eventually leading to healthier eating habits. For example, while having biryani at home, you may take a plate full of that biryani, and once that full plate is finished, you may go for another serving. Here, you need to stop and think if you really need that second serving of that biryani, or you can make do with something lighter, healthier like salad. You also need to tell yourself that the body doesn't need so much food. Our mind is not trained to calculate and think what needs to be consumed and in how much proportion. It is rather trained to eat whenever the opportunity arises. So it's very important to train the brain keeping this point in mind. Once you get the determination in you to control the amount of unhealthy food that goes into your body, half the battle is won. No, I'm not asking you to quit carbs or go on that ultra protein diet or starve yourself till you lose that weight, because that is not sustainable. It's very important for you to inculcate habits that you will be able to follow even 20 years down the line. So that was all on the third pillar of sustainable fitness, which is food. Let's move on to the last chapter on fitness template.